All right, what's up, guys? Man, Thinkorswim is slow today. Look at that. Took a while to pull up. All right, we got Nasdaq up 0.5% today. And after yesterday, which was an interesting day, nothing too crazy though. We've seen two higher volume candles right here. So yesterday, not a nothing day. It was not really a good day. Was definitely some selling in the mix there. Quite a bit of selling in the mix, but what I meant to say is there's some buying in the mix. A little bit of buying right through here. A little bit. If you notice, that's my resistance line from the other day. Remember that high? Rallied above it, came back below it right there. Tested it overnight here. So this line here may be a point of contention. Kind of a line in the sand, if you will. Maybe. It's a minute line. It doesn't really hold a huge deal of value, but right now it's being respected. You can see right there. Let's take a look at some headlines. Pre-market movers. All right, let's go to pre-market movers. See what's what. Pull up IBD. See what they have to say about the world. DASOX surge after upgrades. Next big thing in cloud computing pushes Amazon to the edge. What's the next biggest thing in cloud computing? Ooh, that actually got me a little bit excited there. Called edge. Oh, edge computing. Yep. Okay. Familiar with edge computing. So what edge computing is where it actually takes, because the way it works now, you pretty much have pretty dumb devices. You know, hey, what's up, Eli? Amit. Respect my authority. Yeah, so what edge computing is like right now you've got a Nest thermostat. So that's an edge device, right? It kind of sits right between you and the internet. And that device, let's just say that device just sends data through an API over to a server, and all the compute is done on the server side. Edge computing is where the data is crunched at the Nest, at the edge device, edge computing, and then the end result is sent to the server basically as a data store or data aggregator or whatever. What's up, Blair? All right. That'll actually help Amazon, I think. Looking for some ideas here. Man. Hey, what's up, Paul? Good morning. So I'm just checking out this article right quick about edge computing. Oh, that fat NSA contract, Eli, last time I heard it was all Amazon. They actually had specific language in there. So Amazon was not guaranteed to get the contract, but was guaranteed to get the contract. That was my understanding. Of course, I read one article on it, which makes me an expert. So NVIDIA, ANET, or some edge computing. That's about it. Amit's got an interesting question. Does the pre-market ever attest for the day's price action volume? In some cases, yes. In a bear market, well, we're not in a bear market. We're just in a little correction. Um, and Yeah, it depends. It's sometimes pretty tricky. The best thing to do is you have to take the whole picture in mind, not necessarily just the futures action, which is up a little bit today, but also the leading stock action, right? How are leading stocks doing? Um, you have to get a feel for it more than anything, and even when you get a feel for it, in a few cases, it's wrong. Your feeling is wrong. I have a saying called "Your opinion is wrong" because everyone's entitled to their opinion. So I like to tell people their opinion is wrong, but your opinion can definitely be wrong on pre-market moves if you're trying to extrapolate it through normal market action. Um, if you see like really strong setups and you see some gapping action, that can that can generally work out well for you. But other than that, um, yeah, things like to get thrown around a lot in the first half hour of the market. Generally, it's a lot of feel. Yeah, you'll get that, Amit. You'll get the feeling that your feeling is always wrong. That happens quite often. That happens quite often, and you learn to either just ignore your feelings or you just get better feelings until you can realize that your feelings are just partially wrong instead of always wrong. Um, I don't know if that's necessarily a skill you can hone. I guess it is. You just have to look at a ton of charts and a lot of market action. It's like anything in life. If you practice at it, you'll get better. All right, let's go check out the pre-market mover list. We've got a lot of China names up a lot. Three that I recognize off the top of my head up like 20, 30%. NCTY is the 9. They're up to $8. What the flood? $8? They're at 2. They're up 409%. They're like way up here. That's crazy. CNET, that's all another China name. That's up 50%, 338. LMFA at 421. There's $4 just above the red bar there. Wow, so it looks like China's moving. Eli, get your watch list ready, dude. FFHL. Another China name up 25%. So, like I said, four China names that I knew. These are ones I didn't know. If they don't have China in their name, I don't recognize them. CCCL, China Ceramics, at 450. Big spike up yesterday to 645. It looks like they're taking some pretty crazy positions here. You funny man, Eri. You make me laugh. JMU, which is JMU Limited, of course, up 20% to 219. Some pretty big volume spikes right there in the recent months. CNTF, China Tech Faith, whatever that means, up at 210. These are just micro names. I'm not sure if they're trying to get people excited or if they're actually VSTO up 20%. There's one share traded at $18, so be very excited about that. Clovis Oncology CLVS up 11.5%. ADNT, IIPR, QEP. That one's interesting, IIPR. You like my impression? Worked on it for many years, Eli. Many, many years. So yeah, seeing some China names move this morning. Let's go pull up a few more China names. Baidu's a huge China name. And what's Baidu done? They haven't really. I guess 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days ago. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 7 days ago. So it moved a little bit, not a tremendous amount, but it's back at lows pretty quickly. Yesterday was a pretty egregious sell bar right there. Let me do this. All right, there's NCTY. So these two charts are linked. So I'm just going to blow through some China names. Dang, look at that volume after hours. The heck's going on here? Large investor stake. That's a pretty large investor. FXI, which is China's ETF, which today is up 2.49%. Not too bad for an ETF. Not too bad at all for an ETF. So there's kind of our high volume print right there. Yesterday was breaking down. Today we're at 39.64. So we're basically barely filling this gap from yesterday. You can see there's yesterday's, or 2 days ago's close. Daniel's got an options play going on. What was your play there, Daniel? And why? Just curious too, because yeah, there's not a ton here that would get me super bullish. I mean, quite a bit of volume right here during the last 20 minutes or so, but I didn't really watch. I don't watch things that closely typically. Guys, I got no water. I'm gonna go get some water. I'll be right back. And it looks like the market may open while I'm gone, so keep an eye on it for me. I'm back. That was fast. It's easier getting water when it's cold outside. I don't need to get cold water. I get normal water, and I will be extremely happy to know that my water heater's fixed, and it's pretty cool. Hybrid hot water heater, or hybrid water heater. My plumber friend yells at me whenever I say hot water heater, so I'm really trying not to. Really trying not to say hot water heater. Really makes you sound like a noob in the plumbing business. Because you don't heat hot water, but they don't call it a cold water heater. So, anyway, lots of fun stuff going on there. FXI popping down a little bit there. Volume actually slightly elevated right there. And we just had stuff ding at us, which is good. Okay, thanks, Daniel. Let's go ahead and check out your stuff. And PayPal's moving today. Momo, Roku, Bitto, YY, those were China names right there. I think Momo is also China. Yandex, Russia. Tilroy. NASDAQ at 0.62%. Daniel says previous low is 38.64 right there. Broke below that just barely, then was bought up strong. Figured it would try test resistance at 40. Nice. Dude, that's awesome. So you're going to cover now, or you're going to wait till 40? It's working on you. And if China's going to do good here, FXI. You know, we have lots of these little pops in there, so not sure if this will be the bottom, but a lot of these China names are. I don't have a lot of them on here, it looks like. All right, let's go check out. Let me put the FXI on here. I should have the FXI at a minimum on here. Okay, so let's check out our leaders today. We got PayPal gapping up above the 200-day moving average. Haven't looked. We really haven't ever looked at PayPal on since I started doing these live streams. Wow, look at the dichotomy there. Look at that. That's hate when that happens. Oh, earnings. Okay, that makes sense. Earnings. That makes total sense. Gapping up to 84 above the. That's the 50-day. No, I'm sorry. That's the 50-day. That's the 200-day. That's the 50-day. And PayPal looking strong if it takes over that high from the overnight session there at just about 85, or I guess 84.90. Really could get going, but it blew through most of this range in a good way. In a good way. It gapped up there. Momo, we got YY, which is a China play. Not a lot of accumulation here recently. Maybe this will be the start of something. I'm not sure what the reason for the gap up. EDU, also a China play. Bida, China play. Roku, sounds like a China play, but it's not. GDS, still forget what this is. There's Roku, the kind of China play. YY, FXI, which we just had in here. Funko. What are you doing, Funko? All right, nice declining volume in Funko. Let's go take a peek. We have a selling candle right there. Yeah, maybe we get over that 2040 level on Funko. We placed an alert there just for fun. Recent winner. Nice consolidation. Let's go check out the drop here, about 45%. A little deep. A little deeper than I would like. Ideally, most stocks, you don't want them to correct more than 33%. The fact the market's in a correction, you can give it a little bit of leeway, but the correction hasn't been horrendous. But yeah, Funko looking interesting right there. Going up fairly flat. Noah, not a China play. Weibo, that's a China play. News, a China play. China play IPO. Cheers. GDS again. I probably should learn what they do. Race is off to a good start today. Earnings upcoming. Double bottom in place. Buy point 143.02. Well, 10 cents above this high technically is your technical buy point. 142.52, so 142.62 would be your buy point. Why 10 cents? You ask me. Well, because you want to give it a little bit of room in case you get shaken out or it comes up to the top and fails. But double bottom there, elevated volume area. Well, not really, I guess. A little bit of elevated volume. Earnings coming up very shortly. Let's go place an alert on race too. Why not? I can do that. I have the technology. All right, Weibo. There's Roku again. There's EC. After a breakout, we're having a nice pullback, a little bit of a higher low here. I don't mind this action right in here. Things starting to look, I won't say good because they're not good, but that's a very low print, low volume on the low print. That's interesting. You don't see that super often, at least in major bottoms. The higher volumes are right here. I'm assuming these are coinciding with the market, but going very flat here. Actually, I think it's probably pretty healthy. Good volume there, good volume there. And EC looking pretty good. I guess if you're so inclined, you could take maybe a starter position here if you want to. MDB, Silica, where are you? Roku keeps wanting to Keeps wanting me to click on it. Quit being a mouse hog, Roku. Okay, OGRMF, that's a marijuana play. Baba is a Chinese stock. SLCA. Silica. Looks like they're climbing the ranks, but as you can see, that they're just it's super lows. Look at the moving averages where they're coming from. So this thing is in a precipitous downtrend. Bounces are fairly normal in that circumstance. Bodoku, Anik, FF. Okay, let's go to this. I kind of like the scanning tool. That's pretty fun. Change 1%. That was in a down market. Today we're going to do 3%. 500 million. Scan by market cap. We'll detach this list. Excuse me. Hold on a moment. All right. All right, so got my list up here. Let's get rid of this. All right, NASDAQ up 0.83%. Now, yesterday's volume, we didn't talk really much about the NASDAQ. Yesterday's volume, a little bit elevated. Looks like the fourth highest since we've seen the market break down 1, 2, 3 here, and then 4 here. So it's the fourth highest in volume perspective. Did have a little bit of support to it, not a lot. There's the 200-day moving average. We still have those high volume prints behind us, so that's a good thing. We talk about those high volume prints actually about a week ago now. So I just want to point that out. Yeah, a little healthier down here than what it may appear. Now, that doesn't mean we still can't roll over. Here's that 50-day I said we're going to have to come up and test. You may consider this a test of the 50-day. I wouldn't blame you if you did, but we probably are doing an actual test of the 50-day, and we need to see how it responds. And there's going to be more choppiness, guys. We're not going to go straight. We're not going to V right back up. It doesn't work out well when you do that, number one. And then number two, it's just highly unlikely. I think if it does go back up, use it as a reason to sell. Okay. PG, I believe Procter & Gamble. Please don't quote me if I'm wrong, let me know. Okay, yeah, Procter & Gamble right there. All right, PG gapping up. That's a big gap for PG. 7%. Why are you gapping up? Strongest sales growth in 5 years. Okay, that's going to bode well for the Dow. RHHVF, apparently a $200 billion company that I've never heard of. 250 right there's your buy point. CICHY. Where the hell are these companies coming from? Ping Shing. Worth $173 billion. That's not a bad setup right there, guys. Although, I don't know, volume, yeah, it's a little weak. What is this thing? Oh, it's over the counter for $173 billion? That's insane. PNGAY. Ping and Insurance Group ADR. That's literally the name. Ping and Insurance Group ADR. Chinese company providing insurance, banking, asset management services in China. Oh, yeah, you want me to check the future, Eli? Okay, let's go to Tesla real quick. And, hold on, we got to get a little bit closer. Where's earnings? 10/31. Okay, so in a couple of weeks. Yeah, so let me get my future tool. It's going to be right around here somewhere, okay? That's pretty much exactly where Tesla's going to be after earnings. So, just so we're clear. I just want to be clear. You're welcome. All right, now up 1%. Volume here, 10 minutes into the open. Oh, pretty good. A little less than don't know if it's less than yesterday or not. And go down to the lower term time frames. A little bit higher than yesterday. Teeny weeny weeny bit. Something like that. But straight up to the races today is nice. Let's hope it keeps it up and keeps rolling. I think that's your best case scenario there. Okay, let's keep going with this. So I actually don't mind this PNGAY. I like this generally. I doubt it has any options. Yep, no options. It's an over-the-counter play. But I love that chart pattern right there. That is my favorite chart pattern. Well, wouldn't buy it right now, but it's good to note these things and good to keep an eye on them. Okay, UN. So there's the UN trading at 54.81. UL. Unilever. Okay, 54. Nothing doing there. PayPal with the gap up. Familiar with that, up 10%. CIHKY sounds like a Ukrainian stock. Another what's up with these over the counters? Okay, you know what? I'm just going to add a filter for the exchange because I'm getting way too many over the counter. If you guys can trade over the counter, well, I guess I can too, but I don't know if I can. Add study filter, add filter for stock. Okay, yeah, I need to add an exchange here. Darn it. Nice. Little scripter here, Eli, in the Oh, why is that my favorite pattern? Let me show you. Yeah, there you go. So when a stock has a long, fairly lightly sloping base like this, or even a channel, when these things break to the upside, they can be really powerful. And they're usually not on anyone's radar at the breakout point. That's why I like them so much. It's not like a traditional breakout where everyone and their mother's looking at it. If you got a big low slower, kind of low and slow like this, this is taken, peaked in January. It's taken, just basically call it 10 months to go down 33%. So if you're not, it goes to my option strategy too, Daniel. Because the volatility is greatly reduced here. I like to buy options out of this. But it has to be a very specific setup in a really good company. It can't just be some garbage POS company that makes thumbtacks and whatever. What's this one? SKX gapping up 19%. Not gapping up 19. All right, that one's a $1 billion company. Oh yeah, buy that right now. And then so what I'm looking at here in my scans, I have net change, market cap ranking, and I'm kind of poking around the ones here that are up the most. And notice so that's what I'm doing right there. Yeah, I like to enter on the breakout over those trend lines. Again, the company's got to be solid. It can't be some BS willy-nilly company. It's got to have good earnings growth. It's got to have, the stars got to align right there. Got to have all those stars align and then off to the races. So I know you just got 200% out of your FXI play. Sounds like you got a good strategy too. All right, PayPal up 11%. Let's go back through the top ones. PayPal continuing, so that's good. That's healthy for the market right there, I believe. Square moving in concert with PayPal. Although Square kind of looks like a dead cat bounce situation right here. Earnings coming up about 3 weeks, so a ways away. Oh yeah, Eli. You know, Head and Shoulders in crypto are completely different than in stocks. They're not all over the place in stocks like they are in crypto, if you've noticed. I think the reason being is that a Head and Shoulders is really like a really well-formed Head and Shoulders. First of all, in crypto, we're looking at 2-hour charts, right? So that makes it a little bit easier. You're getting much more movement. It's 24/7, so a lot more options to view Head and Shoulders. Where in the stock market, you're typically looking at the daily chart, so therefore you're not going to get that that many opportunities. But there's also like a bajillion times more opportunities to trade in the stock market than there is in terms of equities. Like a lot of the small cryptos have horrible charts. Most of the stocks have pretty decent charts. So it's a dichotomy, but I think that the stock market with its institutional investor sponsorship does not lead itself well to Head and Shoulders patterns for whatever reason. We're seeing it a lot more in crypto, I think, because it's where the amateurs play. You don't see like accumulation in cryptos really typically, and I think that can. It's like here's a mini Head and Shoulders, right? But your neckline is going to be ridiculous. Like this is not a fun neckline right there. Daniel's system is look at weekly charts for the trend, find an entry on the daily that is in the same direction, which is exactly what you didn't do on this one. You basically picked a bottom, and luckily it worked out for you. That's funny. Yeah, I do that. I'm still guilty of that from time to time, so I don't feel too bad. All right, guys, what's working here? We got a Noah, CMCM trying to play, BITA trying to play, GDS, CGC up 3%. Man, these things don't get very low, do they? These MJ stocks. Look at that selling pressure. They just buy it all. They just buy it all. I don't think that trend line's going to hold in a week or two, but interesting to note. CHK right there. All right. Well, Daniel, if you want to point out some of those weekly plays, yeah, let me know. Wouldn't mind checking out your system. I always like looking at people's trading systems. Okay, so here's CHK. CHK is one I've been tracking for a really long time since oil bottomed. Now, this is more of a natural gas play than it is necessarily an oil play. But usually in time they end up coming together. So CHK right here, you can see it's also come down just a tremendous amount. So I've always been trying to maybe time the bottom of this thing, just get a major play going if I can. Optimum term there is if I can. Doesn't always work out. 1.2% up on the NASDAQ now. Things are looking looking okay. So there's the weekly, guys. This is going back many years. Natural resistance coming up here to the $8 level. So if this is a bottom, I would try to see if I could time an options play up here to $8 if I can. Again, if I can being the opportune word. Doesn't always work out that way. and it hasn't really worked out for any strategy so far. So if you take that trend line, you can probably anticipate 2020, which for $8 is only 158%, 165% gain. Not really worth it for a 2-year hold. Anywho, let's get back. Let's keep this on the weekly, actually. Let's go through this again on the weekly. Oh, CDNA up at 4.5%. That's a new mover today. Okay, no major. We got weekly here, daily here, and it's kind of one of the beautiful ways to use this setup we were talking about yesterday. Is the multiple time frames. GDS, which I still have no idea what they do. Square looks like a great time to buy Square with such a big dip after 33% there, 36% right there. Yeah, this looks like if the market's going to stay healthy, Square still has maybe some more room left in it. On the weekly, at least. Noah, CGC, the MJ play. CHK. Come on, where are you? NetEase. So here's an interesting one with a big downtrend. That one's not bad. That's come down quite a bit. That's come down a lot. It's like 52%. China name, NTES. I forget exactly what they do. I used to know, but China hasn't been hot in a while. What's IBD say? What do you do? Education? Interactive online gaming. Okay. Gotcha. Wow, 27 composite rating. So this would be something I'm probably not super interested in. Unless things turn around. Earnings surprise 50%, but the earnings was negative. So tells you how that's working out. Pre-tax margin 26%, ROE 30%, 3-year sales growth 52%. Good numbers. 1 up-down volume. So yeah, I'm just going to put a little alert here. Why not? All right, Funko. I already have our alert on Funko in case this thing starts coming back. Already had a nice pullback. We got YY here, which is tanking right now. Look at that, just dropped and now having a little bounce today. Look at the weekly on that thing. So actually, speaking of YY, there's one of those low and slow trend lines. I made a tremendous amount of money right here. Right there. Look at that, very sideways action. Boom, off to the races. One of my best options plays since I came up with that strategy last year. Baba. Also China. Not really that interested in that. Here. Eli, you got your here play on. There's the 50-day moving average. We're coming back to it, testing it right now. Not really breaking it. Earnings is coming up, so a little bit tricky here. 10 or 11.6. Man, it's already freaking October. Cannot believe that. More flat bases. AMRN isn't. I mean, so look, AMRN has a level right there that it's toying with. That's a level to watch for at this moment in time. It's not really a flat base, though. I mean, Eli Lilly really was a pretty good base right there. It wasn't necessarily super flat. It's kind of curving up, but if that's what you're looking for, or if you're looking for something like that, I'm not quite sure. Yeah, if I see it, I'm Eli. If I see a good chart pattern, I point it out. Where the heck was I? I wasn't at FXI, but we can go to FXI, no biggie. Let's go to URI and race. URI had a big down day yesterday. I saw it printing across CNBC. I didn't look at CNBC yesterday. How the heck did I know this had such a big down day? What was it? I was looking at something and I saw URI was down just a crap ton. I'm like, whoa, that's crazy. So there's the channel in URI. Bad break of that channel. Look at the volume. That's just a textbook FU move right there. All right, NetEase. We noted the level on NetEase. Got an alert right there. Race, we have an alert up here. But possibly a bottom buy here. Not a huge fan of most bottom buys. Race is one. Look at the chart. Here's the, so this is a weekly. So this is the 10-week moving average, I believe, which would be akin to the 50-day. And I'm not really sure what the earnings are like. You'd have to, do some research, which I can do real quick, because I can type it all with my left hand. 49 composite rating. Looks like growth has slowed a little bit. Pre-tax margin 21% is pretty good. ROE at 96, that's really good too. Definitely some distribution here. This is Ferrari if you don't know that. So, yeah, earnings looks like they slowed down a bit. So maybe wait for some good action. There's Kiwi, and there's the FXI China coming back down to a point of what was support in recent years. Probably even that point, that point, that point, and maybe this point will act as support here. Hard to say exactly. But a lot of volume throughout that sell-off right there. That's pretty crazy. There's CDNA, SNCR. I'm looking at the weekly mainly right here. If you guys know where my eyes are wandering on the screen, I like to look at the weekly. Really gives you a clue for what's going on. These big institutions just use the weekly like mad. There's a pullback to the ICO level being supported on ZS right there. So I'm not saying it's going to continue, but that could also be considered a neckline if you're looking at head and shoulders patterns. Wow, ZS dropped way down there. Apple. Whoa, what a sell-off on Apple. I never really noticed that. Touching those two levels, you're finding support on that trend line underneath the 200-day. Underneath pretty much everything. And we have some high volume right here ever since we kind of had that one big sell day. And then we have high volume. So there's some accumulative action right there in Apple. 97 to 65. Lickety split, guys. This would be a bottom buy for Apple here in a traditional base. Not quite sure if it holds. I don't know if there's necessarily earnings deceleration in Apple, but 33% is kind of really what you'll want to see. Oh, I'm on TNA. I'm highlighting Apple. Oh, there we go. Sorry. That's weird. Okay. It didn't come down near 33%. 10%, that's more like it. I've done that before. I've looked at a chart, and what happens is this gets highlighted over here when I click, and for whatever reason it didn't that time. And I've done that before. I've traded by looking here and then just, yeah, I've done that before. Oddly enough, I think I made like 1% on that trade. Better to be lucky than good. All right, ZS. O'Reilly. O'Reilly was one the other day that well, considering Apple is the overall market there, Daniel, you'll have a pretty good clue. Especially if you're trading Apple there. So EDU right there, nice little declining frozen rope looking thingamajob right there. So I'm not quite sure if it gets going. We got to see obviously how the China stuff holds up. Earnings are coming up. It looks like in a few days, 10/23. So keep that in mind. XON. Interesting little flat situation right there. Coming to choppy market cycle possibly. See if we break over that line. Oh, that's interesting. That's good to know, Daniel. Yeah, so I'm sure you're familiar. Apple accounts for like a quarter of the weighting of the Nasdaq, if you will. So Eli really likes here, huh? It's not bad. Hasn't quite broken that 50-day yet, but it's looking good. And XPI, Amazon, coming up to its 200-day moving average. What's Amazon doing here? High volume bottom day doji. Pretty good bottom signal on Amazon right there. We weren't watching it. Maybe we should have been. That could have been a good day to go along some stuff on a doji, high volume doji day like that. Psh, ridiculous. It broke it ever so slightly, Eli. I'm not sure if it's trading above it though. I've actually been looking to get a headset, get rid of this microphone. So maybe I should look into that. Turtle Beach. Let's look into some headsets, guys. Let's do some market reconnaissance by looking into headsets. I really haven't. PC. Wired headsets. Oh, that's cool. Elite Pro headset. $300. Holy crap. Yeah, we knew it was because of games. And their parents buying more crap is what it is. So this is the Here website called Turtle Beach. Elite Complete. Winning on a PC never sounded or felt so good. Man, that's crazy. Let's go look at the Pro headset bundle. Oh, okay. So you get their Delio here. Game, background noise, mic level controller. No, I know it's a thing. In fact, I'm going to become a professional gamer starting today. So that's an ancillary. What is that? That little doodad there. Oh, noise canceling microphone. Okay. I'm going pro, Eli. I'm telling you, buddy. I'm gonna start streaming. I'm gonna start streaming my gaming, all my Fortnite stuff that I haven't touched in a month. Start streaming all of it. 1.5% on the Nasdaq now. Volume looking pretty good. About a half an hour into the trade day. I got to get going here in a bit, guys. And cosplaying girls. So I'm a little weak on my cosplaying. Isn't cosplay like real costumes? Or just on Fortnite, just picks the girl skin. So Nasdaq coming back here. Triple Qs are doing pretty good at 4.5%, 4.75%. Yeah, okay, that's kind of weird. Okay. All right, take one last look around the top ones here. Great quality for less money. Yeah, I'd like to, like I said, I've been thinking about getting a headset. Maybe I'll support here as a growth stock. Go buy the stock. Paul, I like you. Don't change that. Oh gosh, I shouldn't have said anything. Maybe he wouldn't have seen the comment. Astros A40. That doesn't look like it's a. Yeah, I've been told my mic isn't that good. I hear my videos. I don't think it's that bad. I just think my voice sounds like crap. $150. Welcome to Astro. Well, they look comfy. I gotta say that. They look just super comfortable. I figured you could, Eli. Anything to daisy chain. Stream output. Huh. I'll have to do some research. I'll take this into account. Tournament ready, whatever the heck that means. So Amit's contemplating an Amazon earnings play. Earnings are very, very tricky. Very, very tricky. Now, probably you could, well, you could, but yeah, you know what? If you want a straight Amazon play, I mean, you can use options. So like, here's Amazon. Let's go. I don't know what if you're looking just to play a bounce there, Amit, or for a longer term strategy, but you can mitigate your downside potential in a number of ways. So you can buy the stock, and you can also buy a put, which will mitigate your risk. So let's see. So this is going out to the 25th. So at a minimum, you're looking here at November, right? Gosh, these are expensive. I guess $86 on $1,800 asset really isn't too bad, but just seems expensive. But so you could actually buy the stock, and then, I mean, I don't know how many shares you're going to trade. I don't know if you're going to 100 shares of Amazon, is 180 grand. So don't know if you have that much to put into the trade, but you could. Yeah, these are hefty prices, man. 8 grand. You're looking to buy something, and I don't know if I would even buy options ahead of Amazon. You use this to hedge, but the premiums in these seem to be very expensive right now. There's not a great way to hedge depending on how much. Yeah, I think it depends on your bankroll. With an $1,800 share price, every time you buy an option, you're swinging $100 or 100 shares of the company. So you're swinging 180,000. Yeah, exactly. So it's just a losing game. That's a losing game. I wouldn't do that at all. If anything, what you should do would be to buy the stock and then sell the option. That would probably be something you could do if you wanted to like short the stock and then buy the call or something like that. I usually don't put on strategies like that ahead of earnings. I tend to step aside ahead of earnings. So I don't have any definitive strategies for that. But there's a lot of things you can do. You can do a straddle where you'll basically, okay, let's say you think it's going to go higher. I think it's going to go up here to this 19, 15, 50-day moving average. What you could do is, so there's 19, 15. I don't want to pay $40 for that garbage. That's horrible. So what you could do here is you could try to, like, say you wanted it to go higher. What you could do is just buy the stock, and then if you wanted to buy a leveraged a put is some insurance. What you could do is find a strike price here that makes sense for you to sell. So you think it's going to 19.15. Let's say it has an inverse reaction to that and takes you back down here towards the 1700 level. So $1,700 put's going to cost you about $44. You could, I'm thinking about this on the fly, and I usually don't do this, so I'm going to struggle here. Excuse me. You want to get into this $44 put. What you could do, and there's tools for this actually. And I haven't used these in a long time. Shoot. I got to run here, guys. Anyway, what you can do, we can talk about it more tomorrow. Maybe we can do a little more learning on this. But what you can do is you can go ahead here and sell this option if you just, like if you thought that 1700 was the lowest it's going to go, right? Like you can even get down here and you could say, okay, I'm going to get $2,000 by selling this option right there. Now you have to carry a heavy weight on your account to sell a $2,000 option on an $1,800 stock, but it may be worth it depending if you can swing that load. Now you can also offset that by buying. You could also buy a call. You could sell this, and then you could buy one of these over here, offsetting that price. So you can go here to where it's $20 if you wanted to, and you could buy like the 2,000 for 20, and so you basically have, zero in terms of your premium that you're paying. But what ends up happening is that if it goes lower and drops on you, then this is going to be worth less, exponentially less, mind you. And this $20 option up here is going to be worth way more, So you'll end up taking less of a hit on your put side there. So it's kind of weird. You can do some Googling on options hedging and stuff about that. So, but I got to roll, guys. Kids woke up. Got to get ready for school. Yeah, market's up 1.26%. Not too bad here today. We have the China stocks. Looks like they're still doing okay, hanging out around that 3% level. Yeah, maybe tomorrow we'll go more into some option strategies such as that if you guys want to. So stay tuned tomorrow. See you guys then. Have a good one.